So if you're a creator and you're tired of playing the algorithm game, you're tired of trying to guess what the platforms want, and you just want to build a real, sustainable business, well, this explainer is for you. Today, we're diving headfirst into something called the newsletter revenue revolution. All right, let's just jump right in with a pretty big question. Are creators actually building their entire businesses on quicksand? Now, I know that sounds dramatic, but think about it. For so many, the answer is a hard yes. They're building these incredible, valuable things on platforms they don't own and they certainly don't control.
And that reality, that feeling, that's what we're calling the creator's dilemma. It really gets to the heart of the problem, right? It's this fundamental vulnerability that comes from building your life's work on, well, borrowed land.
At the very center of this dilemma is something you've probably felt before, the algorithm trap. You know the deal. You pour your heart and soul into creating amazing content, but your ability to even reach the audience you worked so hard to build is completely at the mercy of some black box algorithm that can and does change without any warning. So, what does that really mean for you? Well, this dependency comes with some huge business-ending risks. I mean, one day you could wake up and poof, sudden demonetization, or you get hit with an unexpected platform ban for a reason you don't even understand. Or maybe the most common one, the algorithm's priorities just shift and your reach collapses. The bottom line is your entire access to your audience can literally vanish overnight.
So, what's the alternative? Is there a way out of this trap? Yes, and it lies in what we're calling the audience ownership secret. This isn't just a theory. It's what the top 1% of creators are using right now to build these incredibly resilient million-dollar businesses.
You know, the source material for this explainer really dug into the most successful creators out there and asked this one simple question. What do the creators making over $1 million a year all have in common? And you know what? It's not their follower count, and it's not their production quality.
The answer is this. They all practice something called audience ownership. So what is that? Simple. It's having a direct, unfiltered communication channel with your audience that you control. And for pretty much every single one of them, that channel is an email list. And this is where the numbers get, well, kind of staggering. Let's put it in perspective. On YouTube, you might make, say, $5 to $10 for every 1,000 views. That's pretty standard. But according to the analysis, the potential monthly value of a single email subscriber, it can be 10 times that or even more. The difference is an absolute game changer.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but let's make it real. Let's look at a practical $1 million case study. We're going to explore the hypothetical potential of a really interesting company called Well-Off Media. So Well-Off Media was founded by Dion Bucky Sanders Jr., and they've built this massive YouTube following. We're talking over 600,000 subscribers by giving people exclusive, behind-the-scenes content of his famous father, Coach Prime. They have all the right ingredients, a huge, deeply engaged audience, and access nobody else has. So let's start here. This is their foundation. Over 600,000 subscribers on YouTube. That is a massive, pre-built community just waiting. Now, what happens when you apply this newsletter strategy to that foundation? Well, the source projects a potential annual recurring revenue of over $1 million. That just shows you the incredible power of converting even a tiny fraction of a social media audience into true paying subscribers. And look, it's really important to be crystal clear here. The source material includes this disclaimer, and so will we. All of these revenue projections and strategies we're talking about are purely hypothetical examples. They're based on public information and industry analysis. This is a case study in what's possible.
So, how could a company like that, or frankly, how could you, actually do this? Well, that brings us right to Section 4, the Revenue Revolution Blueprint. This is a whole new model for how creators can and should think about making money.
The source material lays out this incredible 5-step blueprint. It starts with day 1, the foundation, which is all about truly understanding why a newsletter is the ultimate revenue engine. Then, on day 2, you get into your content strategy, figuring out what kind of value you can create that's actually worth a premium price. Day 3 is where it gets really interesting. Revenue multiplication. This is about turning that one newsletter into 7 different income streams. Crazy, right? Day 4 is about community building, turning those subscribers into die-hard superfans. And finally, day 5 ties it all together with a detailed launch strategy, a 90-day plan to make it all a reality. And you have to understand, this blueprint represents a totally different way of thinking. The traditional method, the old way, was to build a huge free list and just hope that someday people might pay you. The revolution method is totally different. It's about monetizing premium access from day one, creating multiple income streams right away, and building a real, tangible, sellable business asset.
So the blueprint is clear, but how does this apply to you? That brings us to our final and honestly the most important section, figuring out your unique access, because this is the real key to unlocking your own potential with this model.
So I want you to really stop and think about this for a second. What is the unique access that only you can provide? We saw that Well-Off Media has behind-the-scenes access to a legendary football coach. So, what do you have?
And listen, it doesn't have to be a celebrity. Not at all. Your unique access could be your years of industry experience, your personal story and authentic struggles, the professional network you've built. It could just be your completely unique perspective on a topic. All of those things are incredibly valuable.
In this right here, this brings us to the most crucial point of this entire explainer. The wealthiest creators, they don't necessarily have the biggest audiences, not by a long shot. They are simply the ones who best monetize their unique access. That's the secret.
So, the potential is there for the taking. The blueprint exists. The only real question left is, what will you build?